Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another Doctor Who review where we are reviewing Season 1, Episode 1, Space Babies, written by Russell T Davies. I literally just finished watching it. I'm recording this at 1 in the fucking morning. Um, and normally, moving forward, this isn't going to happen. I'm not going to be filming these things like as soon as they drop on the BBC iPlayer. Like I have a VPN. That's how I watched it. The only reason why I'm doing it is because we have a double bill this week where we have Space Babies and we have The Devil's Cord. Now I'm actually going to hold off on watching The Devil Cord until the actual airtime of 7 just before the Eurovision. It's only for this that I'm doing this. Um, yes. Now, I should have also expected to experience some issues when the episode dropped, where it took me 20 minutes, roughly about 20 minutes, just to be able to actually watch the whole episode without it buffering. Like, it kept crashing on me so much. I have a bit of hiccups now. Yeah, it kept crashing on me so much because again, I don't think they expected or had the bandwidth to be able to maintain a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of people in the UK. Me in Ireland using a VPN to watch it on that. So why didn't I go for Disney Plus? I don't have Disney Plus. So, if you're an Irish fan as well, I should mention this before I get it further into the review. If you um, have no way to watch season one without using a VPN, I have emailed RTE. So it is going to be on the RTE player later on in the summer due to contractual obligations. So it's unfortunate, but it's a net positive at the same time. Now, with that, I should wear my glasses more, I think. 2 minute ramble out of the way. What did I think of the episode? I liked it. I'm surprised at it because I went in fully expecting not to like it because it wasn't this and The Devil's Court wasn't getting the best of reviews from what I've been seeing prior to its release, with them doing a whole bunch of screenings and then early reviews and all that crap. But I enjoyed it. I definitely do like Shutagawa as the Doctor. He is definitely, I would say, perfectly cast for his version of the Doctor. Definitely, he's bringing the joy that other Doctors have brought up even better than that. He has his own joy twist on it. Um, Especially when it came to actually seeing the space babies and stuff. And he has been in this episode. He has been open about the fact that he is adopted, which we do know because Russell confirmed it that this season is going to focus heavily on the timeless child aspect of it. And so yeah, they land on this space station after traveling to the time of the dinosaurs, where we have a funny little gag of step on a butterfly and the entire history is changed and stuff. So that happens to Ruby. She steps on it. She changes into an alien, and the Doctor heals this butterfly that Ruby stepped on. It's not shown exactly how. He blows into his hands like this. My guess is it was his regeneration energy that he used, um, because I think as much as I love for it to be confirmed that the 13 regeneration limit is still in effect, because the Time Lords are gone, I don't think that's a thing anymore, which kind of ruins the ending to Matt Smith's final episode in a sense. But I'm going off on tangents here. So yeah, they eventually land on this space station. They come across the bogeyman, and it even scares the Doctor, which he's like very confused about because he's not normally terrified of these things. Like Daleks, yes, they do scare the living fuck out of him, but bogeyman, not really. And that's when they come across the baby maturation chamber for the baby farm. I remember it being referred to as. And then we get to introduced to the actual space babies. Now, obviously, this is Disney budget here, so it's amped up the budget. It looks beautiful. It looks spectacular. Except for the CG on the babies. But I fully expected that, and I'm not dissing that whatsoever. Like, I knew going into this that the CG for when the babies were talking, for with the lip flap movements, um, wasn't going to look great. But it didn't bother me. But it is something that I feel like I have to mention. And so they're trying to figure out what this bogeyman is. They end up finding out that there is one adult left on this ship that because apparently all the parents and all the other adult humans left 6 years ago, right around the time that these babies were born, because they initially mistake the Doctor and Ruby to be the parents. And so we meet this other human, and so she plays them this recording of these people, given the year that they left and stuff. And we learn why they left. And it all goes down to capitalism and bureaucracy and all that stuff. Stuff that has been seen before in like episodes like Oxygen, where it was cheaper to kill the people than it was to charge them for oxygen. Um, and I have to say, the uniforms, the uniforms that we see three uniforms: a gold uniform, a red uniform, and a green uniform. My initial thought was Star Trek. That looked, it looks not like uniforms or kind of looks like uniforms that we've seen, but not necessarily. They remind me of the uniforms that was in the Star Trek comic that came out, canon comic that came out prior to season one of Star Trek Picard, that we do see in a flashback during Star Trek Picard, when we see that Picard gave his resignation. So that's what that reminded me of. And then, of course, they go, turns out one of the babies decides to be brave to take on the bogeyman. So then I was watching, I was thinking, the Doctor and Ruby are watching this little child essentially go up to the bogeyman, and they're just standing there watching. I'm like, fucking run to him. You have the time. Like, yeah, you might not make it in time, but it's better to do that than fucking stand around there and gawk at it actually happening. But eventually they do, um, and then they start to figure out what this bogeyman is. And at one point we have another flashback, because this episode is literally taking place right at the end of the church on Ruby Road, and then the Doctor is remembering the time when he went to see Ruby's mother drop off Ruby at the church, but then it alters. It's been altered. The memory's been altered, where where Ruby's mother turns and points at the Doctor, and then once Ruby steps in front of him, brings him out of the memory, it starts to snow, and that's apparently going to be this big thing throughout this season, is the snow. And so they figure out what this creature is. It's made from stories. It literally story for the babies, and it's made out of their actual bogies, which is interesting. I have to admit, I find that very, very interesting as a concept. Um, I do like it. I definitely do like it. And then of course the nanny goes to try and shove the thing out in an airlock, but it's the Doctor's counting that as the baby as well, because the babies were made up above, and this bogey creature was made down below. And so he risked the Doctor. They risk themselves, because I have to get that right now, because apparently now the Doctor's pronouns now are they. which I don't mind. It's fine, you know. Now, I don't mind. Like, I might slip up and call the doctor he here and there. Um, so I do apologize for that, but I will try to, you know, get the doctor's pronouns correct, moving forward. Um, so yeah, they try to, they basically end up throwing themselves at this airlock to prevent the bogey creature from being flung into space. And it's also one thing that I found interesting was talking about refugees, and how that handles now, because the whole, you know, since the flux, you know, this is of course the future, but the future is still probably reeling from the flux. Um, you know, there's probably not a lot of planets left. And so they talk about this planet that is accepting of refugees, but they won't go to the refugees. The refugees have to essentially wash up on their shores for them to be taken in. And I thought that was interesting. I definitely thought that was interesting. Eventually, turns out that in order to get this station to move, is by excluding or throwing out 6 years of nappies, and then that gets it moving. And then we have a scene where they go back to Christmas Day to visit Ruby's adoptive mother, and that's the scene from which I and a lot of people probably thought of the TARDIS coming down in the roof and wrecking the roof was from this going to be from the episode 7/8. But no, apparently that was in episode 1. There's also a few callbacks to the RTD1 era, when um, the Doctor upgrades Ruby's phone to um, to be able to phone home essentially from the future to the past, like what happened with you know, Rose, Martha, Donna, you know, that type of stuff that stuck with the Russell era. Like, it wasn't a thing in the Moffat or I can't remember if it was a thing in the Chibnall era. But yeah, overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode, which was surprising. I fully expected to not like this. You know, a lot of people didn't end up liking it. From you know, the early reviews. But I'm interested to hear what you have to say, or think about this episode in the comments whilst I'm asleep, because I'm literally going to upload this and I'm going to fuck to sleep. So when will my Devil's Cord video be out? Well, as I said at the beginning of the video, after it's aired on BBC One. Um, so I'll probably end up rewatching Space Babies again, you know, more conscious and not half asleep. You know, when that's on at 6. So, like I said, after The Devil's Cord aired on BBC One, that is when I will record my review. This is the best way I could do it, because if I watched both episodes back to back, I would have to lump this as one big video, and I would have forgotten stuff. So, like I said, this is the only time I'm going to watch it at midnight using a VPN. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I normally not my more energetic self, because again, this is 1 in the fucking morning. I do not want to wake my neighbors. So again, let me know what you thought of the episode down in the comments below. And if you love Doctor Who, and you're not subscribed, do subscribe, because I will be reviewing Doctor Who, season 1 of Doctor Who, every Saturday. And I have reviewed series 1 to 10 last year, and starting in back up in June, every second week I'll be reviewing a classic Doctor Who episode, which will be voted for by you. That poll is due to actually go live in about 2 days, for you to vote on my next classic Doctor Who review. So again, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna go to bed. Good night.